Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. All right, let's talk about another supply you want to pick up here relatively quickly. This one you have about a year for, but just giving you a heads up because some of it ain't cheap. I want to start with this. California has the most military bases in the United States by a long shot. They've got 124. Texas is second at 59. So there are twice as many military posts in California than the second most populated state. Okay, I'll give you that. Now, what do you have on military bases? You have troops who, of course, need to have weaponry, right? Okay. So, by common sense, it would tell you that California has twice as many weapons, military weapons, as Texas, and obviously more than anybody else. After all, every soldier, sailor, Marine, airman is an infantryman first, and whatever their secondary job is, whatever their official job is second. Everybody is a foot soldier first. That's why you go through basic training, okay? That's what you're taught, the basics of being a foot soldier. If California has so many weapons for the military, why are they so afraid of civilians owning them? Oh, because if there was ever a coup in California to overtake the state, that would be the best place to start, right? There's a new bill that has been released in California, SB 704. And this one gets a little over the top. Y'all know it's practically impossible to buy a weapon in California, all right? You've got mandatory, 10-day waiting periods from the time you pay for it to the time you can get it. I mean, we're not even talking about, background check or anything. That's everywhere, okay? You've got restrictions on magazines. You've got the silliness on you can't even have a detachable magazine on a semi-automatic modern sporting rifle. So California's already made it ridiculously difficult. But how many of you, if you live in California, or if you don't, because you know damn well if they pass this in California, there's going to be other, at least blue states who are going to try to follow. I don't really see this going too far in Alabama or Florida or Texas. Okay. Y'all know, we'll just use an AR-15 as an example, okay? But this applies to anything, pistol, rifle, you name it, okay? We all know that the lower receiver of an AR-15 has a serial number on it. Therefore, in order to buy a new lower, you have to go through the background check. You can't order it online. You have to go through an well, you can, but you have to have it shipped to an FFL, whole 9 yards this way. Okay, got it. We know that. That's the functioning part of the weapon, if you will. California has come up with a new state bill, hasn't been passed yet, but this is their idea, to make the upper receiver, basically the barrel, okay, that's pretty much all that's there, as something that has to be serialized, and obviously at that point you have to go through all the same background checks and waiting periods and FFLs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So you think about this, you want to change out the barrel on your AR-15 from an 18-inch barrel to a 22-inch barrel. Okay, you can do that. Background check, waiting period, ship it to an FFL, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it doesn't make a difference. You want to take it from iron sights to a more tactical setup, same thing. You've got all this waiting period. This is a slippery slope because what's next? How many of you have upgraded anything on any weapon you own? You want to put new sights on it. Got to go through an FFL, got to have a background check. You want to change out the hand guards from black to tan. Let's just say. You want to kerosene it, the rest of it, and you're going to change out the hand guards. Okay. You've got to go through a background check to put a new piece of plastic on there. You want to change from a round trigger or a curved trigger to a flat trigger. You have to go through an FFL. I mean, how many upgrades have you done on weapons? I know I've shown you numerous that I've done on mine. Okay, I want to put a red dot on it. Oops, sorry, you got to wait 10 days till you can get that. This is where it's going. And the whole point is to frustrate people to the point where it's not worth it. I don't want to do it, yada, yada, yada. So therefore, I'm not going to own something. And it goes right back to the military owning all the weapons. The governor of California, whoever it may be at that time, okay, may decide, hey, we're taking over. We don't want to be part of the United States. Not that I wouldn't say bye, okay, but they could basically control the country this way. You look at Mao Zedong, okay, and his quote was, political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Look how well this is done in other countries. In Great Britain, for example. In Australia, for example. English-speaking countries. You can't have guns. Okay. We have knife murders all over the place. The cops don't carry guns. The bad guys still do. I don't care how they slice it. It makes no sense to me why they keep trying to take protection out of the hands of the good guys, but won't do anything to keep it out of the bad guys' hands. Oh, you know what? This guy was 17 years old. He shot up a convenience store, injured 2 people. Well, he's only 17, so we can't try him as an adult. So, we'll give him 2-year 2-year sentence. Crap like that. Okay. No. You go after the bad guys. Go after the Tren de Aragua. Go after the MS-13. Go after the gangs that are doing all the violence. You're never going to get rid of violence completely. You can't, all right? You can take away the tool, but the bad guys will still have it. Why punish the good guys for the crimes of the bad guys? I mean, every weapon I've got, every weapon I've ever owned, not a single one of them has ever injured anybody. They sit in a safe very nicely. They don't bother anybody till I take them out, and then they get to do their job, and then they go away. They could sit on the kitchen counter all day long, and they won't bother anybody. It's the person who is the weapon. The person is the one that makes the decision on whether or not this is going to be used for good or used for evil. But California has this great idea, oh my God, we've got to stop the people from protecting themselves. You don't need an AR-15 to protect yourself. My ass, you don't. Okay? Sorry, you're not going to hit somebody with any accuracy with a pistol at most people more than 25 feet. Okay? You think about going to the range. What do? You practice pistol range, you practice at 10 yards, maybe 7 yards. What's that? 20 to 30 feet. That's it. You got four guys attacking you on your property. Hopefully, you don't let them get to within 20 to 30 feet of you. Okay? Because 20 to 30 feet can be closed in, 2 seconds? Pretty quick. All right? Not a problem. But this is what's coming. And California's logic is something along the lines of, well, it'll make forensics easier because if you change out the barrel on a weapon, then we can't test it and see if that's where it came from. Do you honestly think you're ever going to find a weapon that the criminal used? How many stories have you ever heard of, oh my God, they threw it in the lake? California's next to a freaking ocean. Okay, there's plenty of places in California for bad guys to hide a weapon that was used in crimes. Okay, rarely do they find the weapon, especially when it's, I don't know how you want. Rarely do they find the weapon when the criminal actually had a little advance notice. I mean, the guys who get shot on scene or something, sure, I get it. Okay, but you understand my point. Why are we restricting so much? If you want to protect yourself, if you're looking at, especially if you live in California, but I'm going to say again, if you live in any blue states, so goes California, so goes the rest of the country. That's what they keep trying to tell us, right? God help us. You got a year. This is supposedly to start on July 1st, 2026. I would start looking at it, making plans, especially if some of the stuff's made in China. Okay. I would be looking at buying your accessories soon. Not that I'm saying you need to use them, but if you don't want to have to jump through every hoop, or inevitably have somebody tell you, I'm sorry, we can't sell to you anymore. Get it while the getting's good. Pinball out.